Nails cut.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Late Night Snax. We are here tonight to bring you the start of our wonderful Broadway series.
Second episode. It's now a series.
Yes. So if you guys are curious, basically it doesn't have to be specifically Broadway. That's just what we're calling it. So anything musical, play, what else am I missing? Broadway,
Movie.
obviously, but anything like that will be in our Broadway series, which we will usually bring to you guys on Thursdays. And
Next goes to the theater.
Theater.
Yeah, we're calling it Snax. Snax goes to the theater.
To the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So we are glad that you are here to join us as we dim the lights, grab our binoculars,
what they say,
and watch
Good
from
evening.
afar.
Tonight's performance, the role of Irish Melody,
Right,
played
tonight's
Mel.
performance is
There will be no
brought to you by
What?
Late Night Snack.
There you go.
Late Night Snax.
I am one of your hosts, Irish Melly. Along on this journey will be the beautiful DeWanda and
Hey, everybody.
the amazing that guy.
That's that guy. That's me.
That's that guy.
So we're going to discuss fame, and we are discussing old fame, new fame, and musical fame.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Here's the story. Here's why we picked Fame out of the blue of all musicals to do our second episode on, when there's so many more that I want to cover. But if you guys don't know, there's a YouTube channel called The Show Must Go On. And basically what they do, can't quite figure out their MO. But what they do is they premiere certain theatrical performances. It's on a very short run for free. I guess you can subscribe to their channel and pay for it, but they air it on YouTube for like 3 nights or some shit.
Something like that. It's only like 3 nights that they air it.
And Fame popped up as Fame the musical, the London revival that was out in 2019. The pro-shot recording of that popped up. And I said, "Oh, Dwanda, let's watch Fame." She's like, "Okay." We started talking back and forth, and we realized we both grew up on Fame. We both had this huge love, mainly for the original movie and the TV series. That's what Fame is to us. So we're like, "Yes, let's watch Fame and compare." And so we got all into Fame. The last week. Here we are talking about a show that nobody was paying attention to. He goes, "Sure,
Fame is a classic, though. I mean,
it
you can't deny it. It's definitely a classic.
Not this musical. This musical is trash.
This musical.
I'm saying the original.
Yes.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about the originals, but we need to talk about the new musical first.
Well, I don't know. I think we got to start with the original because that's where it all.
Want to start with the original? We can.
1980.
Yes.
The Silver Road of movie. This is all based on a movie first, because there's been a lot of confusion about where Fame came from. It was an original movie. The original screenplay went to the big screen, and that's what it is. What it is it's a collaboration kind of tale of a real high school. There was a real high school in New York City, in Manhattan, called the High School for Performing Arts. They call it PA, Performing Arts High School, and it's real. It functions exactly like it does in the movie. A lot of celebrities have gone there recently. Yep. Madonna's daughter just graduated from there. So it is exactly what they show in the film. It's a full credential academic high school where you have to be a triple threat in 3 of the 5 categories of art in order to get into school.
And it's the three triple threats are: you have to be a triple threat in theater, in music, and dance. All of them.
Theater, music, dance, and no, there's 5 categories. You need 3 of the 5. So you got theater, theater production, drama. You've got musical instrument, singing, dance, and I believe there's 2 categories of dance. I had to look at 5. I think it's 5.
Anyway, you have to at least be a triple threat in order to be accepted.
And I wanted to go to this high school so bad. Ever since Fame came out, because Fame,
Didn't we all?
my story with
We
Fame,
all did.
how I came across Fame, I started Fame with the TV show, because that was more my age group.
Yeah.
It came on every week, and there was a bunch of kids dancing and singing. Fame was the original Glee. I mean, this is where you had musical numbers, and a TV show with young people that you can relate to. And the first piece of music that I ever bought for myself with my own allowance money was a cassette tape of the TV cast of Fame doing their live show, and it was a concert. And I wore that tape out. I freaking loved. That's what my love for musical theater started, was with Fame, because there was these crazy songs that just broke out in the middle of everything in the show. And the most memorable to me is in season 2, I believe. Don't quote me, but season 2, they were doing a play within a show, and Desdemona. They're doing the song Desdemona. Des. I love it. Oh God, I was hooked. I wish I still had that cassette. It would be fun. But anyway, back to the original. 1980. They created this film. This film was very dark. It was very adult. It wasn't this what Fame became. Fame became a very light, almost Glee type thing. But the original movie dealt with issues of substance abuse and rape and passing couches and children of abusive parents, stage parents.
Things that people have really only started mainstream talking about in the last 15, 20 years even.
Well, remember, the heart of New York City was
let me share my screen. I'll show you guys some pictures that I was able to get.
Manhattan and downtown New York City was a very, very, very different place before it was all cleaned up after the 80s. And this was crime-ridden. New York was the slums. It was very, very scary in the 80s in New York. And this is where Fame is, right in the heart of all that. And it was a rough neighborhood to go to school there. And the movie touched on that. The movie touched more on the cultural events of the time than it did the high school.
Okay, here's the original cast.
So we look at the original cast. It focused on a few of these more than it did the others in the movie, and then we got to see other ones showcase it in the show. So, who they focused on in the movie here is, we look at the bottom row. We've got what's his face? I forget his name. Doris, Coco, and Leroy. Up on top, you've got Ralphie. That's Ralphie. Doris. Who's that? Besides,
we've got Ralph. We've got Doris. We have what is her name? Iris.
Julie.
I thought it was Iris or something.
Maybe it was Iris. Julie in the show. Yes, this white girl dancer and Bruno.
Yeah.
I forget his name. The redhead is
And I cannot remember her name at the moment.
Yeah, who is that?
And then we have Coco and Leroy.
But who is that beside him? I've never seen it. Who is that chick?
That is.
She wasn't featured in any.
No, she wasn't a major featured character.
Okay, wait. Yeah, she was the one in the beginning, the first half of the movie, that got kicked out of school because she couldn't.
Yeah, because she couldn't dance.
Yeah. And that was harsh too. That was showing the reality of these talents and how hardcore you had to be talented to be in the school. This dance teacher just goes right up to this bitch and is like, you're not cutting it. You are not a dancer. You're not up to the caliber of the school. You need to leave. And there's a high school kid, telling this mess too. She ends up getting pregnant, having abortion. That's why the movie got into abortion.
No, that happened. That happened to her. That happened to the dancer right up here.
Yeah, so they dealt with some pretty serious issues on this show.
Mm-hmm.
The format of it was very strange because it's presented almost like a yearbook. It deals with their audition process, then their freshman year, sophomore year, senior, junior, and senior year, and it's just like it's told in these almost comic book stripping type things. It's like they'll hit a character, like they'll hit Doris, and she'll be right in the middle of something, like rehearsing for a play or something. They'll tell her a little story, and then it'll go right to another character. There is no beginning, middle, or end for any of these kids. It's like these little flashes of during their years that they go through. And it's really, really well crafted and well put together the way that the film was constructed. It has its own unique cinematography feel. It's got this real grainy, almost dark feel to it, which is I think it's just the film quality then, but the new film that comes out tries to copy that, which is weird.
Yeah. Now my take on this, basically, because that guy just talked about the fact that he had the original cast tape, and that was his beginnings of this. My beginnings of this was a little bit later, because mine happened when I was in high school, and
Yeah,
a little more relatable for you.
A tidbit for you guys, but I performed in choirs. I performed in choirs from the time I was in 4th grade on.
Yeah.
And so when this movie came out, I actually got to perform one of the songs on my own, out here on my own, as that was my very, very, very first solo that I ever did, and I nailed it.
Congratulations.
They actually had to retire it and make it to the point that nobody else could perform that song except for me. And they had to wait till I graduated before they could bring it back out of mothballs. So that's why this musical means so much to me, is that particular song. And when the new musical came out, I wanted to make sure that's the pinnacle for me. There are 3 songs in this here. There are 3 different songs in this that have to be in the musical, or it's just not, it doesn't mean the same to me. It's Out Here on My Own, the title track of Fame. If they don't do that one, then what's the point?
I think the whole thing is a loss if they don't do Fame.
And then the other one is I Sing the Body Electric, which is what they sing at the end at the graduation.
We'll go home too now.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, well, thanks. Bye. Both in down at the same time. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Bye. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
But for me, it was. I don't remember what season it was in. I just remember catching the TV show and then getting really hooked on it. I don't think I saw the movie itself until I was older. I think my parents were really, really big on. Was this a rated R movie?
Yes.
Yes. So my parents were really, really anti-rated R. Like, I didn't see Purple Rain, I didn't see Rain or Fame, all these movies until I was like much older. So, with seeing the movie after experiencing 6 seasons of the TV show was culture shock, because it was just such a different culture.
Alfie's in the house. Hey,
What's up,
Alfie. It's all right if you're late. You're here now. That's all that matters,
Okay.
hon.
So
welcome, and we're glad you're here.
So they did the movie. Then after the movie, I think it was when the show started, 82, 83.
Hold on. Let me pull that up.
Okay.
I'll find out here in a second. Where is it? Poster, remake, series. Here's the cast of the series for the actual series. This is the cast of the actual series right here.
Yeah, it was when?
It ended in 87, so I believe it was
81.
6 seasons, so it started in 81. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So right after the movie. And so the premise of the movie was all 4 years of high school. They went from audition process through graduation. Then the show picks up at some year. They don't say.
Yeah.
Same kind of characters. We had Doris, we had Bruno, we had Leroy, we had Coco by a different actress. Doris, a different actress. We had Doris's redheaded friend, who was the same actress. Then we had Danny, was this new white kid that replaced the Jewish kid, or the Hispanic kid. So it's like we're casting things. And the tone was completely different. We don't know what year this was, and they were just right in the middle of the school year. And just what's really weird about the first couple
Alfie says 83, he thinks.
See, that's what I thought.
That sounds about right, yeah.
The show, the first couple episodes tried to touch on highlights of the movie in kind of a tongue-in-cheek way. Like,
he said, damn,
it was
he
like
was
they were
wrong.
rewriting their own history. It was weird. Because, like, for example, Leroy in the dance class in the movie, he had a big thing about not being able to afford the proper dance attire. And because he was poor, he was homeless. And in the show, he presents himself, or in the movie, he presents himself as just a badass. I'm not wearing no tights. He just couldn't afford them. And
Right.
the show is the same thing, but in a different little tongue-in-cheek way. Leroy, what are you wearing in my class? Kind of thing. So they do that kind of stuff for about 2 or 3 episodes, and then it finds its own groove. But we never really get what season we're in or what grade they're in. I don't think for a while.
No, we don't.
And they probably did that on purpose, because they didn't know how long it was going to last.
And it literally just dropped right in the middle of the storyline. It was weird. There's no introduction to these kids in this TV show. It's just like middle of the school year. It was weird. But I love the TV show because the TV show took what the movie did best and it focused on the characters. Yes, in a much lighter sense and not as serious as topics, but it focused on each of the characters and not so much of a flashy like performance type things, just their characters, their stories. We did lose the main cast about halfway through. They graduated just like Lee, and we got remember Janet Jackson was in this thing, and also in the last few seasons of the show petered out. It wasn't great. It was just a rehash of everything. So it ran 6 seasons, and then once the show was over, pretty much immediately, unbeknownst to me, pretty much immediately in '88, Fame the Musical was written. And Fame the Musical was trying to take the lightheartedness of the show, the stagedness of Broadway at the time, because remember this is '80s. Broadway was big. Broadway was flashy in the '80s. With Miss Saigon, Les Miserables, and the Opera, it had to be a big showcase. And then they took the feel, the sense, and the songs from the movie, put it all together in this big mishmash. Had the same character types, but called them different names. All the songs were in different places for different meanings of the show. So basically, it's like they all of what was famous before, shook it up, threw it up in the air, and watched it fall down. And
just to see what would stick.
Some things are really good in the musical, like Fame. The song Fame and how it's utilized and where it's utilized is brilliant. It's my favorite rendition of Fame, the song, of anything. But the show is incredibly overdramatic, and it's very Broadway. I mean, it's Broadway in your face.
It's really Broadway. Really, really, really Broadway.
Yeah, these are high school students just chatting with each other, and you've got these great performance numbers, and they're doing freaking Shakespeare in the Park. It's really, really incredibly overacted. It's incredibly campy, and it's hard to sit through. And the fact that this musical has had the longest legs of anything in Fame history is beside me. This thing has run pretty successfully since '88 in different renditions, all the way through 2020. So how many years is that? 30, 40 years? It has been running straight through. And I was like, where the fuck is I? I never saw it saying that. I always saw this revival just came out. The revival just came out in London, and that's what's on this channel that led us to this podcast. Is the revival of
That's exactly what started it.
Long Live Show is here now, presenting Fame for a couple nights only that we got to see. Why out of the blue? This was a 2019 show that we're just seeing now. But if you've not checked out that musical, if it ever comes back on, show must go on. Don't bother; it sucks. But go watch the movie.
I want to point. I was going to say I want to point out something. Alfie, I guess, looked it up and said nope, wrong. It was '82, and he said, and because he came in late, this is how I know he agrees with you, because he didn't hear you say this at the beginning. He says it's like a pre-Glee, which you made that point earlier, so he didn't hear that. So you guys are on the same page there with that feeling of it.
It is a pre-Glee.
Which it really was. It really was.
Yes, high school that breaks out in song and dance. We first talk about the remake. Okay, then in 2009, just like everything else that in our generation, somebody decided they had to remake a great 80s movie. What is it with my generation wanting to remake everything they have? Guess what? The original's there. Go watch it. If you want to go watch Fame, go watch Fame. If you want to go watch Back to the Future, go watch Back to the Future. I swear to God, they touched that on me because they decided to redo this film, and this film is weird. Okay,
yes, it is.
This film it's modern. It's modern times. That's the one smart thing that they did with this film is they didn't try and rehash the time. They didn't try and rehash the '80s. No. It takes place in 2009 or 2008 or whatever it was. It's modern
2009.
Yeah, of PA, or what these kids would be going through at PA right now, and not the kids in the '80s. But they tried to copy the same feel, the same 4 years type feel. They tried to copy the same cinematography type feel, the graininess. There's this weird voiceover that happens in the movie that's like the voices, the way the audio is coming through, it seems disconnected from the actor. It seems like it's in a different room. It's bizarre.
Like narrator-esque.
It's like a narrator thing, and it just sounds really weird.
It's the songs come up and they're not interesting. The kids aren't interesting. Their stories are really bland compared to the Darkest of Fame. But they try and present it in this big flashy sense. Fame is back and Fame is great. And you're watching it going, there's nothing interesting in this movie whatsoever.
There's
Debbie Allen, old lady Debbie Allen.
I know it's gotten horrible reviews. Like anything you look up and it's like got a horrible score on Rotten Tomatoes.
There's a reason for it. The acting is horrible.
What's her name is in this? Will and Grace, Karen from Will and Grace.
Deborah Messing.
Megan Mullally.
Megan Mullally. Yeah.
Megan Mullally is in it.
Kelsey Grammer's in this.
Kelsey Grammer's in it.
So it's like they have the cast. It just they dropped the ball.
Yeah. They had the cast, except for
because both of them, Kelsey Grammer and Megan Mullally, can sing.
As far as the teachers go for this movie, they had the cast to pull that part off. But the cast of the kids in the school, they really fell short.
Yeah, well, and their stories were not interesting.
And the stories were extremely boring. It was just sad.
Well, maybe we would have liked the kids differently had the writing been differently.
Every single iteration that came after the original 80s movie, the 1980 movie, all tried to just pay tribute to that 1980 movie. That movie was so brilliant that that's all the TV show tried to pay tribute to it. The new musical tried to pay tribute to it. The new movie tried to, and even so, in the musical, bit of trivia for the musical, they actually refer to the 1980s movie as a movie that they watched. And they talk about this movie that they watched about PA.
Yeah.
The kids are doing ABC. How meta is that? It's just
very meta,
It's crazy. But anyway, Fame to me will always be the TV show, and I wish they would release the other seasons on some sort of format. Because you can only get the first 2 seasons, you can't get the last 4.
Because there's 4, right?
No, there's 6.
Oh, 6.
You get the last 4. I would really like to see them.
That's crazy that you can't get 4 seasons.
You can't get it. We've tried.
It's never been in print.
Believe me, we have tried. It's
not been in print. It's never been printed in any way. So then they haven't lost the masters.
Because I agree with Michael. Fame for me will always be the original movie and the TV series, hands down. End of story.
When I think of Fame, it's so weird. The first thing that pops in my mind when I think of Fame is Coco on that audition couch, crying, holding the rope. First thing I think of because that's like no love by Irene Cara. Absolutely crazy. Irene Cara got her start with Fame. And she wrote that song.
Yes, she did.
In the movie, she's great.
And Alfie says that he likes some remakes and enjoys the sentiment, but he wishes Hollywood would do some new things sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate the remakes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you want to watch the original, it still exists. Go watch it.
It still exists. No, it's gone.
They're
it's
never as good.
Forever.
Half the time.
But then again, you can't find 4 seasons of the show, so you never know.
I agree, though. I think they lost the masters. That's why we can't have it.
Yeah, I think
that's
probably. Yeah. Or Janet Jackson doesn't want to be seen.
Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. No, Janet was actually pretty.
She took everything of hers of print after the Super Bowl debacle, and now it's all gone.
Well, in my opinion, the first 2 seasons are the best seasons anyway. So maybe
there's probably a lot of people who feel that way. That's why it's available.
You lose a lot of the originals pretty quick in that show, if I remember. I think you lose Coco right away. I think you lose.
I think they were just put there to give them like a cameo. It's like, oh look, it's that girl from the movie. Let's watch this and see how it is. That kind of thing.
Well, they do a lot of different things, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did it for that reason.
Huh?
I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if that's why they did it.
Who's the redheaded boy? I forget his name. I can't
Virginia?
Not Ralphie, not
His last name is Montague. His last name is
Yeah,
Montague.
Okay, that's what they refer to him as. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the original actors in the first few episodes. I don't think he lasts the whole season.
His
I'm surprised.
the actor's name is Paul McCrane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montague. That's what they're Monty. They refer to him.
Montague. That's what they call him.
But Ralph Garcia was replaced by this white kid, Danny. I mean, talk about the race insensitivity, because Ralphie Garcia's story was so important to the whole, Hispanic race in New York City at the time. The Portuguese descendants and stuff that were really poor, that were really down and out in New York City, and he was just erased from the show and raised by some white kid. The 80s, gotta love it. But I like Danny, the guy that replaced that character as a little stand-up comedy. He was a great character, but look back at now and
the comic relief for it.
Yeah. And the new actor that plays Doris is great too.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to cover anything else?
Trivia. What other role was the actress that played Doris in the movie? What was she in? Right after.
I don't remember that one.
She was in Grease 2. She was one of the pink ladies.
Oh God, that's right. Okay, duh. Now I feel really stupid.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay, now I got it. Yeah, you're right. She was in Grease 2. Leave it to you to stump me with your favorite movie.
In Grease 2.
Leave it to you to stump me with your favorite movie of all time.
Come on and tell us, Johnny.
That's why he had trivia for us.
We can stay here. Grease 2 sing along.
Well, I got to brush up on that one.
What I want in a guy.
All right. Do we want to discuss anything else on this topic?
Work.
I take that as a no.
Oh, out there, all you guys watching, you sent well wishes regarding Boga. Thank you. It was appreciated from yesterday. It's me and Nuka. We're bachelors now. Boy and his dog. Taking on the world.
Yep.
Everybody sending some good juju to Nuka. He's not doing well. He's sad.
He'll be all right.
He's a good boy. He'll be okay.
He's sad. He's been moping. He'll be okay.
Lots of treats. That's what I would do.
What?
Lots of treats.
He'll lose his damn mind. Right? He's never had a pepperoni in his life. I'm gonna go buy him a pack of pepperoni and lose his.
Oh, all right,
you gotta
guys.
record it. You gotta record it.
Yeah, we'll put it on the channel for posterity.
Right.
Yep.
Dog's first reaction to pepperoni.
All right, and on that note, we really appreciate everybody coming out.
We do have a little bit something. It's an announcement on our Broadway series. What to expect on our Broadway series? We will be doing. These ladies will be going through some first-time watch-alongs, reaction videos of watching musicals for the first time. We'll be discovering new soundtracks. We'll be giving stories of experiences Broadway, and I'm hoping to have a special guest on. I'm hoping. We may have Jen Paz on. I'm hoping.
Oh, I hope so.
Let's see. We'll see. Alvin said that he learned today that Broadway's going to be closed until June 2021. He's very sad.
Yeah, it took me longer than that. I don't know how Broadway survives. It's going to be tough. And that's not just Broadway. There's Broadway used as a word. It's all live presentations, all live theater of any sort, anywhere.
I got Fame playing in my head now. Like I'm picturing the outro.
Yep.
With that, we love you. We love you for being here.
You jump up in the air and you freeze.
See you guys in the next one.
Take care, guys. Bye.